Mad science. I swear, this thing is never pointing in the same direction for any 2 minutes. Like it was up here earlier. Oh, for pity's sake. Is that alright? I think that's a little high. Screw it. Good enough. Thing's been arguing with me all day. Edited and posted a video about artwork I saw at the American Visionary Arts Museum in Baltimore, Maryland. Was that really 2 years ago? I think it was 2 years ago. It was a long while ago. No, it was a year and a half ago. Getting a little ahead of myself there. No. Was it? I can't remember. How long has it been? Okay, so a year ago. Yeah. Anyway, doesn't matter. It's a product design week. Let's do a product design concept here. Let's figure something out. Yeah. It's I think I mispronounced Ingo. I guess it's Ingo, not Inigo. Which, I mean, the distinction is a small one. I think I'm overpronouncing the bounce on the end. And then did a little looking up of who that artist is. And apparently he was big on the remote viewing psychic powers field for a while. And I guess he's written some books about some of that stuff. So, yeah, the fact that he's psychedelic and trippy in his artwork isn't a surprise now. And Cosmic Galaxy Egg, or the Galaxy Cosmic Egg, or whatever it is. That one, I have some ideas. I will see if I can upload the creative prompts inspired by that after this. The trick, and I think part of the reason it was as difficult as it was for me to get that up, it should have been up Friday and yesterday. I had a couple events to get to yesterday, and on Friday, turns out like all these videos that I'm working on, the exercise video and some of the other stuff, the editing on them seems to take longer, not just in the editing portion of it, but the exporting it and then uploading it. It's 2 chunks of time I have to set it up and wait for it. And if there's any one little thing wrong with the export before you upload it, you have to go back, edit, and then re-export. And those exports take a couple of hours in many cases. And I think some of that is coming from the increased resolution of the video, where I was making 780, or is it 780, 720, whatever, P videos before, and now that I have the webcam, I can do 1080, 720. Okay, so it's 1080p that I'm doing some of this stuff at now. Getting the 720p to mesh with the 1080p in a editing program doesn't always work well. And 1080p files take close to twice as long to export. And if it's a file that's somewhere between the range of 15 to 20 minutes in length, exporting those takes forever. And it's a little bit frustrating to try to get everything to work out right. And I think it's just because I'm not just used to it yet. I feel like in the process of doing things, I can figure out any areas where there will be issues in an edit, get it fixed before I get it into the editor, or fix it in the way I shoot the video so that it's not as big an issue. Edit it, set it to export, and then use my other computer to do other things. The problem is a lot of my big files for like the art museum stuff, the makerspace stuff, and some of my other taste tests or stuff that I filmed with the camera are loaded onto the computer here, this one here, which is where I've got my camera and my microphone set up and where the best editing software is. This doesn't have any of that. So while this one takes 2 hours to export, if I try to do anything else on it, I can't use the webcam on it, I can't live stream on it, and I can't do any other activities with it. Otherwise, it comes crashing down and triples the export time on any file. And the same thing happens when I try to upload it to YouTube. So in the case of the art video today, that was finished editing, I believe that was finished editing earlier in the afternoon. But the export took, I think, an hour and a half. And then the upload to YouTube took another 45 minutes to an hour, I think. And that's only about 12 minutes long. I've had a few videos where I run about 18 hours or 18 minutes. And some of those can take 2 hours. And there are some tricks, I think, that if I can figure out a little bit, I think I could probably get the knack for the 720 and the 1080. I think one of the ways I would potentially do that, and one of the things I've been meaning to do, and I haven't, again, it's part of the reason I haven't done these videos yet, is the sheer amount of grunt work to make them. Was the videos without a camera approach, or not so much those, but the follow-up to that with poor cameras. So looking at my cell phone gets a very low resolution image. And one of the ways around working with something like that is to take the low resolution image, make a backdrop that's a still image that's 1080p or even 4K if you really want to. And that's your background image. And then you stack smaller picture-in-picture style windows onto the front of that. So if you wanted to do a channel logo and then some like menu items at the top with writing for what the episode's going to be about, and then underneath of that, an image files, like a slideshow of things, and then maybe a small window with my camera phone of me talking about the project, and then something underneath that for links to related or interesting videos. So you could do a lot of things like that where you're stacking low resolution images, and I know my editing software will let me do that. And the ability to stack those images means that I can upload a video of 1080p that's stacked windows of 480 and 720, or is it 450? I can't even remember. That's standard def or even below standard def. You could use some very simple primitive images and stack them in a way that's viable. And for me, my editing software sort of requires that you put a 1080p image down, and then you can stack a 720 on top of it. So what I need to do is build picture frames, essentially. That's a 1080p picture frame into which I can set all my 720 videos. So I can upload them as 1080p. But again, 1080p video then ends up taking twice as long to export. And then a substantial chunk of time to upload. And I think that's just me being grumpy about it, I guess, or cranky. That shouldn't be that big an issue. Like, I should be able to set up both of these computers to be able to do both of all those functions, so that when I'm doing something on this one, I can leave it alone for 2.5 hours to 4 hours if it needs it. And then I can go work on this one and do stuff without losing the capability of doing anything on this one. And so it's just workflow optimization, I guess, is the term we want to use for that. And I just haven't really set down the time or put the effort. And it's a stupid thing not to put the effort into, because to be perfectly honest, it's probably about an hour to an hour and a half worth of effort to set it up. And once I've done it, it'll save me 45 minutes every time I do an edited video. It's just one of those things like, I guess I'll work on it, and I just don't. So it's my own fault. But this week right now, working on a product design. I'm sort of grumbling at myself for not having really finished a board game this last week, but I've created enough games over the last few months that one or two of those times I had a couple of games instead of just one. So I'm gonna just go with the flow and not beat myself up about it. I do have some ideas of some of the stuff I was playing with this month for board games that I can dabble with a little bit more over the rest of the year. But right now, product. And sort of like the board game, I'm not going to get this done in time for the Instructables contest entry. I'm just going to let that go. It's not a priority. It would have been fun to do, but I'm not going to worry about it. So the original idea I was going to try to work on right this time is to see if I could make something that I could cast in concrete or cement that I could then make into a product and make multiples of and sell. Since that's no longer necessary, since I'm not competing in the contest for cement objects, I'm debating what I want to actually do this week. It's weird that I've unanchored myself enough that I'm starting these weeks now without an idea of what I want to do, and that's that feels weird to try to be doing. But I did want to kind of try something that maybe I'm not making by hand. When I went to VidCon, I talked with some of the people in one of the companies that does t-shirt design for creators' merch sites. And talking with one of them afterwards, I got an indication of some of the possibilities that may be available to create things with. And so at this point, I think I may just want to see if I can make one or two styles of shirt or sweatshirt or blanket or let's see, pull up their site here on the side here on this one and see what kinds of things they let me make. So I had a lot of onions lately, so I can sort of feel my breath. Okay, so apparel, home decor. So they've got canvas prints, pillows, posters, and tapestries. They can do socks, which I would never have thought to even look at. Phone cases. Beach towels, flags, and tote bags. Mugs. Pillows, posters, and tapestries we already did. And then apparel. Apparel styles. Nope. Okay, so we've got, they can do leggings, pocket tees, hoodies, tank tops. Some of this doesn't make a lot of sense. Their ability to sort these things into category that makes sense is a little tricky. Apparel, patriotic. Like, why is apparel a category and a subject? Okay, let's just figure out what we got here. That doesn't tell me anything. Oh, we're going down the rabbit hole of weird now. Okay. Can we stack apparels all the way out? Is it apparels all the way down? Sort of like turtles all the way down? No. Okay. So we've got adventure, hipster. Like, is that a cut of clothing or is that a theme of art? Hobbies. Is that like a, I think they're just mainly doing hoodies and t-shirts. Fraternity and sorority, hairstyle. Okay, so I don't know what that's about. So patriotic, no. Teespring exclusives. That's, I don't know what, why is that important? I don't, yeah, the ability to find categories is a little mixed. So it's got things like leggings right next to for a cause. One's a style of material, like the type of apparel, and one of them is the art that's put on it. I want to know what kinds of shirts are available, and that's not very clear. So they do have leggings. I don't know what I would do with leggings just yet. It seems like a weird category that I don't know what I would make with it. Hoodies. Okay, sports. Is that a cut or is that a design? No, it looks like you're just categorizing that by design. Okay, so tanks. These would be tank tops. Yeah, standard tank top. Doesn't have any specialty shapes or cuts or anything like that. Hoodies. Hoodies. Come on. There we go. So hoodies. They sort of look more like a fitted hoodie than a loose hoodie, which honestly, for some of the designs I want to play with, might actually be the way to go. Okay, so tanks, hoodies, pocket tees, leggings, apparel. I don't understand why you have that in there twice. Funny, adventure. Let's see, adventure, a category or a fit? Yeah, that's just clothing. It's t-shirts and hoodies. So, all right. So what do we got in apparel? I really don't understand why that's doubled. I think it's got to be a glitch on their system. Yeah. All right. So we've got adventure, artistic beer, funny, hipster, pocket tees, patriotic, names, leggings, hoodies, holiday, hobbies, sports, tanks, exclusives, trending, pillows and posters and tapestries. They look like the thin silks casings around the pillows, but looks like you can do pretty detailed art on them. Okay, so pillows, not so much my thing. Maybe you could do a Battle Pillows weird pillow game. I don't know. That'd be kind of funny to do. Tapestries are sort of like flags. Socks. Phone cases. Accessories. They do have flags and beach towels. So flags. So they're just a smaller version of the tapestry. Okay. Tote bags. Very standard canvas bags, looks like. And beach towel. I'm very curious about the beach towel because those are okay. So, how does they pull that off? I don't imagine it's a silk screening. Maybe it is. I might have to if I really want to explore that. It looks more like a cheap terry cloth blanket than a towel. So like one side would be terry cloth style and the other side would be more like a fabric that you could print on. So that may be what that is. Although, I mean, honestly, it doesn't look as cheap as I feel like it is. I keep bobbing out of frame. Yeah, it doesn't look too bad. I don't know what I would do with the beach towel approach, though. I mean, I have some ideas of some things I would do with some of these things, but I'd have to have a feeling for the resulting creation afterwards. So like if I were to make some of the things I want to play around with making, I'd have to design something, order it, get it sent to me, and see if it works the way I think it should work. Mugs is pretty straightforward. Do we have blankets or throws? Canvas prints, tapestries, posters, and pillows. Canvas prints, I mean, that might be something worth exploring to see if I can get prints made of my artwork or something. Home decor. So it looks like tank tops, hoodies, leggings, and t-shirts. Either is it just pocket tees or are there non-pocketed tees? A pocket tee and then apparel. Do we have just a regular? Yeah, we have t-shirts without pockets and t-shirts with pockets and hoodies and leggings and socks. So, and tank tops. Let's look at the socks and see what we got here. Not really sold on the need for it, but okay. Cat socks? What the heck is a cat sock? Oh, wow. They have a whole category just for people who want socks with cats on them. Okay. That's a new one by me. Love socks. What is it? Hearts and yeah, okay, so I don't know what I would do with socks yet. Well, actually, no. Oh God, that would be so stupid. Sock puppets. Get a set of socks printed with puppets on them already. Oh, could we do some really interesting designs for socks with puppets on them? so that you get the socks and it's a printed puppet. Okay, that's sort of hilariously stupid. I kind of want to do it. And I'd been working on the idea of there's a theme I'm doing for my edited exercise routine videos. And part of that is sort of making a costume. And so I'm thinking I may get one of those hoodies and design the hoodie to be that costume. And so I may design a hoodie design. I may make puppets out of socks. And that sounds like so much fun. Leggings. Should I do something with leggings? Like, I want to sort of explore some of these. I don't know how successful I'll be at pulling off any one of them during this week, but I sort of want to play with that. So leggings, the ones I'm really curious about, like a t-shirt, pocket t-shirt, and tank tops, they're standard. Like, we understand what that's going to be. The hoodies also would be in that category, except for one of the designs I have in mind works best on a hoodie, so I may do that one. The leggings are something I would never even thought of doing, but since it's there to play with, I may think about it. Like, what would I do for leggings, though? I'll have to think about that one. What kind of weird thing could I do with leggings? Not that I wear leggings, and not that I will model anything that I do with them. What would I do with them? I can't, like, to me, leggings are just a weird quirk of current fashion. I don't understand why they exist. Pillows, again, are a category of thing I haven't thought about making before. Posters, tapestries, canvases, those are all sort of flat art display mediums. So that's not a huge stretch for me. So socks, maybe the hoodie. So socks, should I devote the time just to do the weird adventurous things right now? Maybe. So a mug is just another canvas, not a lot to do. Well, that's the thing, is these are printed on clothing. So like a t-shirt with a printed pattern on the front, a hoodie with a printed pattern, and they do have the ability to do complete wraparound patterns, which is kind of neat. And you would do the same thing with leggings. And it looks like what they're doing is, like, if you wanted to print Argyle patterns on a pair of socks, you could do that. If you wanted to print your channel logo on a pair of socks, they would do that. It seems like genuinely that they have a means of printing a pattern on socks. And so instead of being like a Muppet, it's not going to be a, you know, googly-eyed thing. It's literally going to be your hand in a sock, and the sock is going to have a pattern printed on it. So, like, seeing what you could creatively do with that, like, could you make, like, depending, like, the thing about a sock puppet is you take the toe and you tuck it in so it's the opening of the mouth, and you place the face in a way that you can make it apparent depending on how you're holding your hand. Like, there are different positions you can put your hand inside a sock, and then how you tuck the sock into that position, like, can affect the look of it. So there are a few different ways you could probably do a creative, and like, you can wear them as ordinary socks. there's no, it doesn't look like there are any buttons or lumps or bedazzling or any weird things attached to it. No pom-poms or anything like that. It looks legitimately like it's just a printing on the surface of a sock. Now, I don't know how well that works because, to be honest, all of my socks, the surface is not a great surface for doing any printing on. Like it's a knit, a fine knit, yes. And the inside is very terry cloth, like I said about the towel. But like it's a very loose weave. It's not a sheet like a paper or a tight woven canvas. So I don't know how much that'll affect the end result. I don't know what the quality is like. So that's sort of part of the fun here, I think, is the exploration of what I can do with what they've got. Now, I talked with this service provider. I talked with them at VidCon, and I asked a couple questions because, you know, like I said, on this, the most common thing you see are T-shirts and hoodies and tank tops and those types of things. And I don't wear any of those usually. Like this is a Henley, they don't have these. I usually, when I can, like they don't have a Hawaiian shirt style. They don't have a vest, which is something I usually wear a lot of when I can, when it's not all sitting in storage somewhere. So vests, Henleys, Hawaiian shirts or bowling shirts, chef's coats, those are the kinds of things that I wear. And those are 4 kinds of shirts and tops that most people don't print on. And so when I asked them at the convention, they said, yeah, we're looking into some of that stuff. And then somebody talked to me after the panel and said, you were the one asking about those things. And yeah, and they go, and she said to me, we have a feature available where if you can find a source for unprinted versions of things that you want to print something on, we can act as the person who acquires those materials and then prints on them as a, you know, all for one source. I went, that could be very useful. I would be very interested to see what we could do with that. And so I'm very curious to explore that in the future. So I do want to make vests and chef's coats and Hawaiian shirts or bowling shirts and maybe Henleys. I don't know that there's a lot in the area of pants. Maybe something like a pajama bottom or a fleece pant for cold weather. Like those would be totally worth exploring, doing something with. I was also talking with them about the possibility of printing out on large, just blank cloth and printing it out so that there's a design on the material, but also a pattern for cutting garments from. And so you could make your own custom garment of some kind. All right, so let's see. The other thing they have in here are phone cases. That doesn't do anything for me. I mean, maybe there's something I could do with phone cases. I don't know. Like, it seems sort of like it's just another, it's sort of like the coffee mug thing. It's just a blank canvas for putting something on. Whereas something like socks or leggings or pillows, not as much pillows, but socks, beach towels might be interesting to explore. Tote bags, I don't know. I'll think about the tote bag. Mugs, nothing really all that interesting. What's texture phone cases? I'm gonna have to go through and look at. I'm gonna have to go through and look at some of the details, because like when you're shopping, when you're going through here, not as a designer, finding the specifics about what each of the categories are is a little bit harder, which is a little disappointing to see. It's not as super clear. So I'm going to pop over here for a second at start designing. So apparel, so unisex men's t-shirt, women's t-shirt, hoodie and sweatshirt, tank tops, kids and babies, long sleeve tees, socks, leggings. Oh, so they have sleeve printing, all over print hoodies. So it's a zip hoodie or a pullover hoodie. So they have two types of hoodies. And all over print unisex joggers. So they're like jogging pants. Women's swimsuits, sports bras, pocket tees, crop tops, dresses. Okay, so we have a range of things. Okay, indoor pillow, posters, canvas prints, wall tapestries, beach towels. Again, I'm curious. Fleece blankets, shower curtains. Okay, so now we're getting into the range of some unusual things. Comforters, there you go. iPhone case, tote bags, sticker sheet. That would be kind of fun to play with. Drawstring bag, accessory pouches. Okay, so zipper bags, like a pencil case. Cinch sack, so they're like the pull purses. Snapback cap, trucker cap, dad cap, beanies, duffel bags, backpacks, neck gaiter, custom pins, die cut stickers. Okay, so they have some options here that are potentially really interesting. So that's a lot more options that we didn't see up front when I looked at that. So now I'm like, oh, wow, I got a lot of things I can play with. And so I should probably think about a few of these, but maybe only do one or two this time. I can come back and do another set in a month or two. I like the all over print hoodie. And like that's one I may do for my exercise design. And then I don't know what I would do with leggings, but I may make a sock puppet. And what else could I mean, the joggers and the leggings, the joggers are sort of like a legging, but they're a little bit like they're a cross between a sweatpant and a legging. I think they're really meant to be sweatpants, but I don't think they, I think these are, they're very similar. Single-sided wind armor, draw cord, and side pockets. Okay, so interesting. So that's very interesting. I could explore that a bit in the future. I'm not in any all screaming rush to worry about that right now. Or the women's swimsuits, sports bras, or crop tops. The dress seems like it would be kind of fun to play with, honestly, but that's just from a design perspective. Poster, canvas prints, pillows. I don't know what I would do with a pillow yet, although it seems like an interesting challenge. Shower curtains, fleece blankets, and comforters seem like they would be fun to explore too. I might see what I can do with a fleece blanket. Honestly, here's the thing. Let me take a look at fleece blanket. What's the size on those? That's not what I was looking for. I was looking for information. Fleece blanket. What's the size? Doesn't tell me. All right. Well, I'll have to see what I can find out about that. Because the thing I'm thinking about with the fleece blanket or the comforter or the shower curtain is backdrops for video. Just set up a backdrop. Fleece blanket, I think, would probably be a good choice because it's not going to be as glossy or shiny. I don't know what a comforter, what they mean when they say comforter. Is it just a random blanket? Comforters feature a microfiber print face with a solid bright white back. It's 0.75 inches thick. Batting is held in place by a simple and unobtrusive double square quilting pattern. Okay, so comforter is sort of a quilt. Okay, so good to know. So you can get a quilt printed. That might be decent for a sound absorbing. It's microfiber surface, so it's not like a glossy windbreaker material that might not absorb the sound as well. That might be good, like sound absorber and backdrop. That's not bad. That's not a bad idea. I could pull up some of the photography I got of landscape. Well, I don't know if my photography of landscapes was high resolution enough to be good made big. If you make something that big, I think I took a lot of those pictures at 720 to 1080p. And once you blow them up to, what did the size they gave me on that one? 68 inches by 68 inches. So that's not particularly, it's not huge, but it's large enough that I don't know how well a photograph at 720p comes in resolution. So let's so let's see, inches. How big is that? Bum, 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 bum. It's about 5.5 feet, so it's about 10 inches shorter than I am. That's pretty big size. That's a pretty decent size. I mean, maybe if I had a really like a 4K high quality, good looking image, I would do something like that. I don't know how something scales to 5 feet by 5 feet, 5.5 feet by 5.5 feet. I feel like it would get grainy really quick. Oh, and the comforter does tend to run about $70 minimum. That would be at cost. It's probably about $90. Yeah, $90 for a sale item. Let's see what the shower curtain says. Ooh, shower curtain says it's 71 by 74, so it's much bigger. It's polyester. Oh, so it's one of the fabric-y shower curtains. It's not like the vinyl sheet. Yeah. All right. That's something to maybe play with. Oh, and the cost of that is $26 or $27 or $40 after sale. Yeah, I might look into seeing what kind of resolution I could get away with. I do know at one point I was doing some research a while back, and somebody was doing a demonstration where, like, the billboards you see on the highway, they're like you can get away with like a 5 to a 15 megapixel picture because it doesn't matter. They're far enough away from what you're looking at that you're not going to see the resolution. And like the photograph of my friend's father over here, like, you're not seeing his eyes. Like the image resolution on that, like you don't have to worry about the detail on that. So if I do a setup where I do a picture that's behind, what I have to keep in mind is what size is this going to be, this space here on somebody's monitor. I have a very large monitor, but for most people, if they're looking at something, they're not, like, that's smaller than their desktop. So if my background, if my photography fits well on, say, my screen as a backdrop image, it would probably work decently as a wall tapestry or a fleece blanket or a shower curtain. The shower curtain might work, honestly. Okay, so the fleece blanket comes in 51 by 60, 68 by 80, or 88 by 104. Oh, actually, it looks like it has a few other sizes too. Oh, they're doing it in centimeters. So 88 by 104. Yeah, it's the same thing. Okay. So that's a possibility of doing that. What's the pricing on that? Wasn't super cheap. The 51 by 60 is about $35. That's not bad, but it's not great either. But if you made a fleece blanket that you could use as a blanket and then hang up and use it as it'll absorb some sound and it'll have a pattern on it. That's not a bad deal. It's pretty good. The shower curtain by far is the better deal, but it's about $40 still. But you're 71 by 74, so that's the size you're getting for that. The beach towel, what's the pricing on that looking like? About $40, or no, $30, 31. Wall tapestry, 34 for 51 by 60. So there's a possibility of these long pieces of fabric here being used to make backdrops for video. I mean, the simplest approach to all of them would be to just get a green screen color. But I might think about that, honestly. I might see if I can get that shower curtain in green screen color. And see how that, well, I might print something somewhere on it so that I can see how the printing works on the material. I feel like that's more important to do with like the comforter or the fleece blanket, I think. Although now I'm thinking it would be super fun to do a gag gift at some point for family members. Like the holidays will come up, and just to make a weird blanket or shower curtain just to goof around and have a little bit of fun. Pillows. Actually, the ones I really want to know about Mouse pads you see a fair amount. Keychains, they do have on here. They do have die cut stickers, and they have custom enameled pins. It looks like. I don't see anything for oven mitts or napkins. Napkin rings. I mean, I think they should be able to do that if they can do like a coffee mug. The duffel bag and backpack I'm kind of curious about, as well as the beanie hat. The cinch sack, which is a small purse. It's the one with the lacing at the top. It's the round, and you pull the lacing and it closes the top. Like they've got those, and that could be kind of fun, honestly. Depends on what it looks like on the bottom side. I'm sitting here thinking like, oh, I think I have an idea. I don't know if it would work. It would depend what they look like when they're cinched closed. I was thinking like it would be kind of funny if it's a well-rounded object when it's closed to make an eyeball out of it. And just make an eyeball on a string that you can keep things inside of. That would be hilarious. Or, you could probably do that with the stretch beanie hat. Can you print anywhere on it or just on the brim? Cuffed knit beanie caps. Acrylic material, hand washable. I feel like any printing you do on a hat like that is probably likely to wear off faster. So it looks like it uses a template. It's probably going to be just along the brim. Because it would be funny to do a beanie hat where the top of it's just a giant eyeball. Backpacks and duffel bags might be curious to play with, but no real priority. All over tote bag, drawstring bag, which is sort of like the backpacks I got from VidCon. So right now, I think the thing I really want to probably play with is definitely the socks. I might design something for socks and the all-over hoodie. And just go with that. I am kind of curious of the all-over print joggers, which I think is what they mean by sweatpants or high-quality custom workmanship cut. So I'm not sure because they do say wind armor, single-sided wind armor. And it's hard to tell based off of the images because they've got such a distracting pattern on them that I can't see the make of the material. Print joggers feature draw cord pocket, high quality custom workmanship, and cut and sewn assembly, 100% polyester. It says decoration method sublimation. So they may have some interesting ways of doing image deposition. Okay, so of the types of socks they have crew socks and socks. What? Oh, okay. Let's have a look, see at those. So the socks would have a material for the body, toe, heel, and neck would be different materials. Whereas crew socks, yeah, okay, so the toe and the heel and the instep are like a knit material. Or no, the toe, the heel are a black material. The neck and the instep are both like the knit ribbed pattern. So that's interesting. I've never seen socks with a knit instep. That's different for me. So these regular socks, honestly, it looks like how low can we go in price? I think that's a little steep. 13, 12. So if we did $13, total cost of those, I think at the end would be about, yeah, $13 per pair. And they don't have to be the same, I don't think. So I could get 2 socks out of that each. Well, the beanie cap has possibility. I don't know if they let you print on the whole thing or just along the hemmed brim. I mean, honestly, if I could print anything on them and I could make a weird beanie hat, I don't have to wait for Halloween. I can wear them anytime I want. Like I knit some hats when I was younger for some relatives, and I knit a Viking helmet for my brother-in-law. So it's like this gray wool with these ivory horns that I knit and felted together. And so he has this Viking helmet knit cap that he's never worn, but I thought it was awesome. It was very, very warm. So, I mean, I would play with that. So leggings, I mean, it's such a tight fit. It's not something I would ever wear, but yeah, wow, let's pull some money off of that. Let's try. So if we did, let's try 29. So if we did $30 for a pair of leggings, you could make a custom pair of leggings. I don't know what I would do with that though. I mean, I could do some weird things with that, but that's not useful. The socks would be kind of fun and lighthearted, but it's sort of like printing on underwear. Leggings at that point are pretty close to just underwear. And it's some of the reason why I'd like the sports bra and the women's swimsuit are two things that like I'm not going to try to make something out of. Like there's very limited ability to do something with that doesn't come across as crass or inappropriate. They're such a form-fitting outfit that like doing something creative, it's more about the thing inside of it than what you put on the surface of it. And yeah, that'd be really tricky to do right. So all over hoodie, socks. Do I want to play around with let's see, all over long sleeve tee? I might do an all over long sleeve tee at some point. So all over long sleeve tee. Okay, so that's not too bad a price. I did have some weird ideas for clothing designs years ago that I could probably dredge up again and play with again. So the all over hoodie design. Okay, so that's going to be at least a minimum of $36 for me to buy one for myself. And if I make it available for other people to purchase, it's probably going to be about $46. I don't know if that's a decent price or not. I haven't bought like real clothing in a while. I usually go to thrift stores, so it's hard for me to judge. I don't know what prices are like. That's an odd one. Pillow, 16 by 16 inch pillow. It's gonna run you about, if I minimize my profits on something like that, you can get about a $16 pillow. That's not bad. Totes, phones, stickers, phone cases, I mean. Drawstring bag. Wow, that's kind of pricey for the drawstring bags. Duffel bag. Ouch. Okay, so that's going to be about $38. What was the beanie? Beanie was about $15. The all-over neck gaiter does seem like it would be a curiously fun thing to play with. And about $18. So the neck gaiter and the hoodie and the socks sound like fun. Maybe the stickers. I mean, that's something I didn't look at a lot of. But like stickers, hoodie, socks, neck gaiter. Let's just play with those for the week. Let's see what we can do with some of those and maybe see if we can get at least 2 of them printed. We won't get them printed by the end of the week and sent to me by then, but I should be able to come up with a design by then. And we'll explore that a little bit later. Ooh, wow, we've been talking for an hour. Okay, I should probably call it here for the night. All right, I will chat with you tomorrow as we brainstorm and play a little bit more with this. When I get going, sometimes I really get into it. So thanks for joining me, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Yeah, it's not typing because I didn't type in the right spot. All right. We got the video working tonight too, which seems to be good.